Alright, today on Warzone Workshop, we're going to be trying a new app. I got it right here in my Money Pit folder. It's called Hop Up. And this is going to be a video on my first interaction with the app. I've looked at purchasing stuff on it, but I never ended up settling on a price or finding someone who had exactly what I was looking for because I was actually being super picky, but nevertheless, they got a large variety of all these items that are being sold by different people. And if you go in, you type in what you're looking for, odds are someone out there is selling exactly what you're looking for. I just typed in M249 and boom, there's some M249 stuff. But it just depends on what you're looking for. You can find it. There's going to be someone out there selling it. A lot of them you can work on a price with them and figure out what you're going to do about it. Now the search feed feature isn't perfect. There are some issues with it. We'll go ahead and take a look at that right now. I'm going to go ahead and type in bad choice. Bad choice. There we go. And this should pull up Beretta M9s, but it's not. So I'm just gonna go in. I'm just gonna go in for it manually and type in the M9. M9. And boom, there you go. All the bad choices you could possibly make in your life, right there at your fingertips. I would avoid. Don't just don't just stick to something good. Something reliable. Like all these wonderful products.
Now, anyone who's seen one of my videos where I go over a gun that I'm selling knows that I always add something extra. This MP5 that I'm sending out was the trade, nothing else. But he's going to get a Glock 18 from WeTech. Because why not? So it'll have one magazine, and it functions, even though it's freezing cold in here. This is now yours. Congratulations. Thanks for accepting this trade. I look forward to getting the gun that we're doing the trade for. Now, the trade was for this. A Classic Army M249. It's got some problems going on with it, but that's totally fine. I plan on doing a bunch of working and fixing it up. And BBs just keep spilling out of it. For one, the bipod itself doesn't like to hook in super well, but it's okay. I can fix whatever's worn on that. Sight post needs to be tweaked a little bit. I'm going to be rewiring this thing to the front because I'm pretty sure right now it's wired to stock, and I plan on eventually swapping between the stocks and doing para, full stock, a bunch of other stuff, maybe a buffer tube eventually. But I'm probably going to wire it to the handguard so I don't have to worry about battery space problems. Also, the mech box, if we pop this open and pop open our feed tray there, is right in here. And it is this huge chunk of metal right there. And in here is the hop up, which is the only reason I picked one of these up now as opposed to later in my collection was because Full Gear had sent me a Gen 3 hop-up chamber for the M249, specifically the Classic Army M249, which is why I needed one. And he just happened to have one on hop-up, and I was like, hey, I'm interested in purchasing or whatnot, and he was like, would you trade something? I was like, sure. Ended up wanting the MP5, so it's got a bunch of aftermarket parts inside it. This needs a bunch of aftermarket parts, so he was okay with the trade. I felt like I needed to add something extra to it, so I went ahead and added that WeTech Glock 18C, which I think spiced it up just enough to make it, to make it feel good for me doing the trade. I just felt like I was getting more out of it than he was. So I want to make it more fair. It's freezing cold at my studio, which is why I'm definitely not doing any gas-related stuff. I told him if he had problems with the magazine, I'd send him another one because I have a bunch of them. I just couldn't really test it here because of how cold it is. I couldn't really test it properly. But the box magazine is having problems. It needs parts, which is fine. I can do that. But luckily, it takes M4 style magazines, just like this little VN style magazine, so I can still do some shooting with it and test it and see how it all functions and get it shooting and hopefully get it shooting really well. And this will be, BBs just keep spilling out of this thing. This will be part of that wall of my studio once I get that, now that the window's all barred up with steel bars and it's all rebar and angle iron welded together. That whole window is going to get filled in with insulation, and then a board will go over the old window, just like this window is now boarded over. I just put some Halloween stuff on it for Halloween purposes. Now Halloween's over with, it's Christmas, so I'll be redecorating again for Christmas. But then that got boarded up and is now no longer a window, but a steel bar reinforced piece of wall, which is going to become wall space for the collection. So I'm going to be doing another gun wall on that wall, the whole wall probably, the whole wall. And that will be heavy weapons, LMGs, sniper rifles, big sniper rifles, stuff like that. MGs will go over there. And then I'm going to do probably a gaming setup over on that side where I have all my battery charging and all that stuff. And then all my gas blowback stuff's over here. And then my other gun wall is going to be this whole side of the studio. These two walls over here will end up being mostly gun wall space. So that's that. But then, of course, Full Gear makes a mag insert for the Classic Army Nutsack mag. So I'll have to pick one of those up and try it out. See if I can get this thing up and running, because that'd be sweet. But you'll have to stay tuned and see how the hop-up does when I make that video. It'll be coming soon on Warzone Workshop. Oh, whoa! Oh, maybe that's why he was trying to get rid of this thing. It's just it's a workout. Not as bad as the Pecan though. This is a much better balanced LMG. Now I know why, like, everybody and their grandma runs a 249. Now, you might not like the idea of what's going to happen to this 249, but I think I'm going to hydro dip the polymer parts with cherry blossom. Just because. And I guess you can stay tuned for that abomination on Warzone Workshop.